up, everyone? Heart Cloud Productions here, and I am back to bring you another Bob the Builder review video. Not a movie this time around, because doing the Snowed Under and Built to Be Wild reviews literally felt like torture for how long the editing processes were. And I am saving my next movie review up until the last month of this year, so keep on the lookout for that. To pass the time before my next Bob the Builder movie review in December, I shall do reviews on certain episodes that I feel like are worth talking about, and maybe some other video topics along the way. But that begs the question, what Bob the Builder episode shall I review? No. Not that one. Nah. Get out of my face, you disgrace of an episode! Sorry about that. Ooh, good choice. But not yet. Maybe. Alright then. Look what episode just had to grab my attention. Yup, it's the timeless classic episode from Season 2, Lofty to the Rescue. Now, before I review this episode, I am going to explain why Lofty is one of my favorite characters in the series. Lofty is a wonderful character. He is arguably the most relatable character out of the entirety of the main 5 members of the Can-Do crew. What makes Lofty really relatable is how he acts and reacts differently than the other characters. Not as confident as the others, but he does try his best during building projects or certain situations. What makes me connect to this Blue Crane while also loving the crap out of him is how I claim that he is autistic. Being an autistic person myself, is that whenever I watch Lofty showcase his character traits, I honestly feel for him that he is more cautious of himself while reacting to certain things differently. It helps Lofty stick out from all of the 5 members of the Can-Do crew while also fitting in as a main character. I could be wrong, but that is how I always see Lofty as autistic, and why he is so gosh darn relatable to fans of the show, because autistic representation is always welcomed in a kids show. Even though my relatability towards Rolly is more stronger and recognizable to me, I always claim that Lofty is the literal definition of a relatable character. And this episode will showcase Lofty at his absolute best. Let's dive into Lofty to the Rescue and why it is a timeless classic. Wait a minute! Did someone that you seem to chat a lot with recently already do a review on this episode? Yeah, he did. Check it out, the link will be in the description. But it ain't stopping me from reviewing this episode through my perspective. So it doesn't really matter if reviews of the same episode came out not too far from each other. Now, will you get out of here, non-existent clone of me? Alright, with all that out of the way, let's get the review started. Lofty to the Rescue is the 5th or the 6th episode of the 2nd season that first aired on November 15th, 1999. In this episode, Bob and the machines are sent out on 2 different jobs. Bob, Rolly, and Dizzy were sent to repave the road at town center, while Scoop, Muck, and Lofty were sent out to clear up a mess at the bridge. Being scared of crossing the bridge, Lofty decided to go back to the yard as he might have left something behind. In reality, he was just going the long way. Along the way, Spud was up to his troublemaking schemes and plans to tease the Blue Crane. The 3 machines cleaned up the mess while Lofty stacked up the logs into a pile until the naughty scarecrow spooked him as he might have seen a mouse. With the logs stacked up, Scoop lets Lofty go back to the yard to see if Wendy has another job for him. As Lofty turned around, his fear of heights came flooding to him as he looked down from the bridge and shook with fear. Spud mocked the scared Blue Crane to the point he had enough and told everyone around him to leave him alone. Poor Lofty drove back to the yard. and sobbed in the shed, feeling like he is useless to everyone all because of his fears. Dang it! My emotions are kicking in! I'll certainly talk about this moment a little later. As Wendy went up to comfort Lofty, she tried reassuring him that Spud doesn't mean any harm to him. While throwing piles of mud at Scoop, Spud didn't look where he was going and stood on the pile of logs, causing him to fly up and get caught onto a loose tree branch. Feeling worried that Spud could fall, Scoop drove back to the yard to get Lofty. Wendy telephones Bob on what is going on with Lofty until Scoop arrives back at the yard as an accident occurred. Scoop asks Lofty if he could rescue Spud, but the Blue Crane declines as he is too scared to cross the bridge. With encouragement from Scoop that everyone will be there to support him, Lofty reluctantly agrees to go and rescue Spud. Spud continued screaming for help as he didn't want to fall, while Lofty still didn't want to cross the bridge, but he had no choice but to face his fear. Bob helped him by guiding his hook to where Spud could reach it. Lofty succeeded in pulling Spud out from the tree branch, and the other machines cheered for their friend. Bob scolded the Scarecrow for teasing Lofty and was forced to apologize to him. Lofty reluctantly forgave Spud, and the episode ends with everyone giving the Blue Crane an encore, feeling happy that he has been deemed as a hero. Lofty to the Rescue is certainly an episode where it is memorable for all the right reasons, and why it is such a fan favorite by fans, myself included. There are some other Lofty episodes that I enjoy from this series, but this episode will always be my favorite in terms of Lofty being the lead character. Speaking of Lofty, let's talk about the lovable Blue Crane. Lofty is amazing in this episode, and here's why. This was the first time where the viewers got to know about Lofty's true character traits and why he acts like this throughout the series. He's kind-hearted, but is sensitive and gets scared from time to time, and this episode delivers his character to a T. When Lofty sees the bridge up ahead, he feels nervous and decides to go the long way.
Oh, I've just remembered. I've left something behind at the yard.
You could tell that he didn't want to cross the bridge because of how high up it is from the ground below. Lofty tries not to act scared in front of his crewmates, but he couldn't help himself when Spud spooked him about mice, and when he refused to cross the bridge while he was looking down below. These moments showcase how Lofty was trying to be brave, but he couldn't help himself by being scared of Spud's antics, or how the sight of the bridge was horrifying to him. The moment where Lofty reached his breaking point really sparked my sympathy towards him, because everyone around him was overwhelming him for good or for worse.
Yes! Leave me alone! All of you!
Seeing Lofty crying inside Scoop and Rolly's shed just breaks my heart, because he questions himself as to why he has fears of heights, mice, and even Spud, and how he thinks his fears make him useless and is no use to anyone. I really empathize with Lofty within this scene, because sometimes I question myself on why I react very badly when dealing with criticism and how it affects me. I always have this feeling whenever I watch this scene, and I just want to give Lofty a hug. When being told that Spud is in danger of falling from the tree branch by the bridge, Lofty was still upset about earlier that day, but being given encouragement, he knew what was right and went to save Spud. It wasn't easy for the Blue Crane to save Spud because he had to cross the bridge to even reach him. But he knew that he had to push past his fear of heights to prevent Spud from hurting himself. I love this moment so much for how it showcases Lofty fighting his fear of heights despite not looking down while having his wheels in contact with the bridge. It was hard for him, sure, but he fought through it, just to save the one who was mean to him earlier. It really goes to show that Lofty can be brave despite his disadvantages that could weigh him down easily. And seeing Lofty be congratulated by everyone for saving Spud was deserved, And when he smiled his biggest smile at the end, I just couldn't help myself but feel a bit emotional by this. Lofty is a character where anyone can easily relate to his struggles and is not afraid to showcase his emotions. Also, it shows how he is very enjoyable to watch while also making the viewers connect to him on an emotional level. Lofty's role in this episode and how his character was presented is my biggest praise towards this episode. But I have so much more positive things to share. First off, let's talk about Scoop. Despite myself being harsh towards Scoop in my Snowed Under review, this time I'm being more positive towards the Yellow Digger. I can't tell you all that I love Scoop throughout this whole episode by how he represents his caring side. The way he looks after Lofty like a big brother was honestly so wholesome to watch that I can't stop myself from smiling like a dummy. Examples of this is where Scoop lets Lofty go the long way instead of using the bridge, and also remembering about his fear of heights.
Lofty's gonna make us late, going all the way back to the yard.
He's not really going back, Muck. He just wants to go round the long way instead of crossing the bridge.
Oh, why's that then?
He's scared of heights, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Protecting Lofty by telling Spud to leave him alone.
Lofty's scared of heights. Scaredy crane, scaredy crane.
Hey, Spud, you leave Lofty alone.
Reassuring Lofty that everyone will be there to support him.
Will you and Muck be there, Scoop?
Of course we will, Lofty.
Well...
And giving Lofty a personal wink after he saves Spud.
Nice one, Lofty. Nice one.
Ow! My heart! Ow! Anyways, Scoop is at one of his best in this episode, despite being secondary. Scoop isn't the only one who deserves praise, and that is how Bob and Wendy are also supportive towards Lofty as well. I always have this headcanon where Bob and Wendy are like the mother and father towards the machines. It's just a wholesome feeling that I am glad that the series really does a good job representing it, especially in this episode. Wendy comforting Lofty when he was sobbing while trying to reassure him like a caring mother would do was just so sweet. It honestly makes me smile during the moment where I am just heartbroken to see Lofty crying. And Bob helping guide Lofty to aim his hook towards the right direction was also great. He tells Lofty what to do in a calm manner, and it really shows how he helps the blue crane while not forcing him to cross the bridge. And lastly, the other machines giving Lofty the utmost support during the rescue and afterwards was just perfect. Like, I don't even need to explain why, it's just that wholesome. When I combine all these other positive elements together, they do have one thing in common. Our main characters showcase that they see each other as family. These positive examples that I pointed out from this episode really does showcase that they all care for each other. No matter how many times Bob, Wendy, or the machines like to tease each other or get into disagreements with each other, they all see each other as a team, and that is what's important to them. Before I wrap up the review, I better talk about Spud. Now, Spud is not a bad character in my opinion. I actually like Spud in this series. He is the literal definition of a comedy relief character, and his personality of being a troublemaker is entertaining to watch. In this episode, it felt like Spud was written as the antagonist. And guess what? It's not funny. Most of the time, Spud's shenanigans involve teasing Bob and the machines, being mischievous, or just trying to be helpful despite messing things up. Unfortunately, Spud is just flat out mean towards Lofty in this episode. The way he mocked Lofty for being scared of heights just makes me want to slap the Scarecrow across the face. That's not a sign of Spud just teasing. No. That's Spud being a stuck-up bully. And that's the only part of this episode that I don't like. I'm not that angry towards Spud compared to Liam's point of view from his review of this episode, but Spud took his teasing way too far. It was certainly well deserved when Spud got himself stuck on the tree and was forced to apologize for being mean to Lofty. Sometimes too much teasing can lead to being too mean, and that is not a good thing. But this is just a nitpick. so this doesn't take away my enjoyment from the episode. In conclusion, Lofty to the Rescue is a wonderful episode, and it certainly deserves the popularity it gets in terms of being a fan favorite by fans of the series. Coming from my favorite season of the show, it is no surprising that I love it so much. I enjoyed almost everything that happened in the episode. Lofty's character was very nicely established by not being afraid of showcasing himself at his most vulnerable, but still comes on top. Bob, Wendy, and the other machines representing their support for Lofty was so wholesome. And even though Spud was unnecessarily mean, he did get karma for bullying Lofty, and he wasn't that insufferable compared to episodes from other shows that are even worse than this. I give this episode a 10 out of 10. This episode will always be a timeless classic even after it first aired back in November of 1999. Well, I hope you all enjoy my review on Lofty to the Rescue. Press the like button and comment down below on what are your thoughts on this episode. I'm not sure what my next Bob the Builder review is, but I'll let you all know about that. This is Heart Cloud Productions, and I'll see you all later!